Welcome to Phil Wilson Chats with Celebrities. And here's your host, Phil Wilson.
Internationally celebrated artist Jess Moskaluke continues to excel in country music with her powerful voice, pop-infused hooks and sonic versatility, as showcased on her latest EP, Heartbreaker, which features her first Australian #1 single, Go Get Her. The first Canadian female country artist since Shania Twain to achieve Canadian platinum status with a hit single, Cheap Wine and Cigarettes. And recently, you've been nominated for Artist of the Year 2024 in the Women in Music Canada Honours. And Jess joins me now. How are you doing, Jess?
We're doing good. How are you?
Fabulous. It's lovely to speak to you because last time I spoke to you was actually September 2023. Can you believe it?
Yeah.
How time flies. Now, can you please bring us up to date with what you've been up to since September 2023?
Oh my goodness. Big question right off the bat. Just doing the same as we're always doing. Just always playing shows, always writing, always working on new music. Just doing the thing.
Because I think you were about to start a UK tour with a cast of others when we last spoke. Were the crowds kind to you?
Yes, I'm trying to think of when that was. I'm a very visual person, so when I get these questions, I have to be like, 1 second, let me go check my calendar.
Because were you in the UK with Donna Miro, was it?
Was that last year?
Was that last year? Yes, I think so.
I don't know. Like I said, I have to check my calendar. Yes, I was at one point with Donna Miro, Tyler Joe Miller, and a band that no longer exists called Five Roses. I don't recall if that was last year or if that was the year prior, but yes, the crowds were fantastic and we had a wonderful.
Yes, that was last year because I've got it. It's all on YouTube there. If you want to rewind back there, listeners and viewers here. That's excellent. Well, you've been so busy, Jess. That's the thing. And just a little bit of news there about Five Roses. What has happened there? Are you allowed to talk about it or not? Because I did notice that it's Jade, isn't it, that has gone on her own there with the single. And I was thinking, well, what's happened with Zach?
There you go. You just answered your own question. Jade has gone solo as a country artist. Her name is now Savannah Jade. She just released her first single, He's the One. But that's all her story to talk about. And I'll let you set up an interview and chat with her so that she can share it. But she's doing really well and I'm really proud of her.
Excellent. I'm really pleased. So yes, at least we know that there's nothing bad happened. It's all good and everything's probably all amicable and all the rest of it. Now, what is your favourite venue that you've performed at whilst on tour? And are there any particular highlights that you can tell us about since last year?
Oh my goodness. I'm a little too brain foggy for these questions today. You know what? I'm not the kind of person that necessarily has a favorite venue. To me, it's not about the venue. It's about the crowd and the energy that they bring. So what could be your favorite venue one night could not necessarily the next. So no, I don't really have a favorite venue. But it's been great. We've been touring a ton. A year is such a long time to look back and recall so many things, especially here in Canada. We have summer festival season, which lasts pretty much from May up until right now. We just finished our last show. That's been the focus for the last quite a while here, has been just these summer festival shows and hoping to get back to the UK soon, but right now actually just gearing up to leave and go to Australia. So my mindset is it's so funny in this industry. We often talk about looking forward, and then sometimes when you go, whoa, that was so long ago, it could be a week ago, and it's totally
correct.
We're looking forward.
It's because you're just too busy. So is there any collaborations that you've done on stage with anyone when you've been on tour that you've went, that actually was, you just felt that moment was just amazing?
We do lots of those just kind of for fun. I hop up on stage with my friend Brett Kissel quite often. We just happen to play a lot of shows together. We have the same booking agent. Excuse me, I'm super under the weather today, so I'm a little...
that's fine.
But yeah, so that's always really fun. When I did my first headline tour in Canada here, Tyler Joe Miller hopped up with us every night, and of course that was a blast because he and I are really good friends. Yeah, anytime you get to share the stage with anybody, it's always a really special moment that you can share that with someone outside of your own self. Yeah, so tons of them.
Yeah, Tyler's a very good man. Yes, I have spoken to him in the past, and I'll have to catch up with him again soon. Now, you had a number one recently in Australia with Go Getter. What was it like getting the news?
It was crazy, and it's always a little bit surreal when you can't be there, and you're not there to experience the lead up of it at all, or
Yeah.
the actual number one itself. So I feel really far removed from it right now, but like I mentioned, I'm 2 days away from going to Australia, so I'm really excited to see how that translates and what a number one means over there to the fans versus what it means here in Canada. So it was really cool. I thought it was a mistake. But yeah, it's hard to gauge that when you're not
Yes.
in it.
Of course, yes. It's like it's on a piece of, it's like it's on an email, but it's
Yeah.
like, you're not there to experience it like I say. Yes, you've just mentioned, you're visiting Australia soon on tour. Now, is it your first visit, and what are you most looking forward to going down under, as we say here in the UK?
It's not my first visit, but it is my first time back since prior to COVID. So it's been 5 years, and that's that's what I'm looking forward to, is just getting back, period. There's so many wonderful friends and fans that we have made and met over there. Lots of them we just actually were able to see. A lot of them came over for the Canadian Country Music Awards a couple weeks back. So yeah, just looking forward to continuing to expand that and just get back there.
Excellent. Now, you're going to be performing at the SXSW in Sydney and at the Groundwater Country Music Festival on the Gold Coast in Queensland soon. Who will you be performing with in Sydney and at the festival on the Gold Coast?
So South by Southwest is a massive festival. I'm not even sure how many days it is. So I'm not super familiar with a lot of the artists because there are so many different, I don't even, it's just so big. And I've never been there before. So I really don't know. That's a boots on the ground situation. We actually just got our time slot for it yesterday.
Right.
So
Oh, wow. Hot off the press.
Yeah, everything's very hot off the press. We got confirmed for it months ago, and then are waiting to get some details to put it all together. So, but as far as who I'm performing with, just myself and a band. Some of the shows will be hired guys that we have down there. I'm bringing my guitar player Brennan with me, and some shows will be just he and I acoustic. Just depends on which show we're talking about.
Absolutely beautiful. And do you think you'll be getting any video footage of that put on YouTube or on your socials?
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah, that's the biggest part of the job these days.
Of course it is. Now, where will you be visiting in 2025? And can I see something on the calendar for 2025 already on your website?
I don't know yet, to be honest. I know that we have a few things on the calendar for 2025 right now. I'm not sure whether they've been announced. I don't believe they have yet.
Right.
So I can't really answer that question, but we will be some places in 2025.
And do you think it'll be coming to the UK at all? Or is that not yet to be confirmed?
I hope so. I would love to, but like I said, once things are announced, we can chat about them a little bit more, but hopefully the UK is one of those things.
Indeed, yes. Get yourself over to Jess Moskaluke's website because there's one date on there, but it's yet to be confirmed.
Perfect.
So there you go then. Now, you've been recently nominated for Artist of the Year for 2024 in the Women in Music Canadian Honours. When did you find out, and what was it like receiving this lovely honour?
When did I find out? That's a good question. You're really testing my historical.
I am today, aren't I?
Well, I'm failing because dates are not my strong point at all. It's an application process, and my label and my management team decided that they thought this year would be a good year for me to apply for that. And it was really cool and a huge honor. I wasn't able to attend the awards.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know when they were, but last year, this past year.
Yeah. Yeah, but it is nice to be, honoured for the work that you're doing, because, you do a lot of work, and you're an entrepreneur, really, which I've read about, and you're always on the go doing something. Now,
yeah, it's a fairly busy year. It's always busy. There's so many demands on an artist that you're right. It is really nice to be recognized, because these are our days off, and we often, share our time with fans and friends and interviews and stuff, which is wonderful. But and we were also talking about social media. That's a big thing, but also the marketing and the planning and the strategy and the travel.
Of course.
There's a lot of demands on an artist that people don't always realize. So anytime you get an extra little pat on, and especially women, so anytime you get an extra little pat on the back, it always does feel nice.
Lovely. Now, you have recently celebrated the 10th anniversary of the release, Cheap Wine and Cigarettes, with the newly reimagined remixes of the fan favourite track. How does it feel like it being released, 10 years on? How does it feel like it still being as popular as ever?
Yeah, it's crazy. It's not a thing that you can ever predict. And, when we put that song out, I knew that it was a great song, or at least I considered it to be a great song. But you can never predict how that's going to happen, because every song I release, I think, is a great song that I hope people will enjoy. But something about that one just really grabbed on and never really let go. And the cool thing is that now that it's 10 years old, it feels nostalgic to people. And so I think that, people are growing up and teaching their kids to love it. And it's becoming like a staple at wedding dances and things like that. And it's just really cool. It's really cool to experience that and to get up there every night and see it. What we noticed this summer that was really cool, I always thought that Cheap Wine and Cigarettes would be that one big song forever. That we always had and that people knew, and I was totally thankful for that, and I still am. But what we noticed on the road this summer is that a lot of the songs in my catalog are starting to become that with time. And that's been so cool to see, is that there's just as many people singing Country Girls and Go Getter and Take Me Home as there are Cheap Wine now. So it's a really surreal thing that when you get into this industry, you never know that it's going to be this way. So I'm really grateful and appreciative of it.
And last night, I actually watched one of your earlier videos. Now, I forget what the name of the song is. You may have actually mentioned the name of the song there, but it's a one where it's like set up as if it's in the 1920s. Or was
that we won't forget.
Yeah, and that's absolutely, I love that. And that's really... Absolutely, what it is, Jess. All the videos that I'd seen, before I last spoke to you, it was like, I didn't go right back in time, and then to see that one, which is quite a one of your, one of the first ones that you did on a big scale, with the production and everything, absolutely amazing.
Thank you. Yeah, it's fun, and sometimes gets difficult to come up with some of those concepts, but working with the directors always makes it a lot easier and brings in a fresh perspective. So I believe the director on that one was Amit Debray, and he had that clear vision for a long time. So he executed it really well.
And what's the name of the song again?
Night We Won't Forget. It was off my first album.
Yeah. Well, everyone will have to get yourself over to YouTube and look for that one, Night We Won't Forget. And you'll see Jess, and who was the gentleman that was in the video?
He is an actor. His name is Luke Severin. And actually, fun fact, I loved working with him so much that we brought him back for another video years later for a song called Drive Me Away. We just had so much fun on set together, and he made everything really easy, and he was so funny in the Night We Won't Forget video that, he did a great job. So his name's Luke.
Excellent. And it's great that you're walking from one room to another and you can see you walking through. It's just great. Everyone, check that out right now and search for Jess Moskaluke on YouTube. There, you can join her channel there, and you can follow and watch all of our videos, which are from over the last 10 years. Now, you are passionate about giving back to causes that are close to your heart. And in the past, you've, been charitable towards the MS Society of Canada and Telemiracle in Saskatchewan. Please, can you tell us about, your fundraising and, how people can follow and maybe help with the fundraising for the causes that you are supporting?
Yeah, I mean, there are so many causes out there that are near and dear to my heart, and I'm sure that you have causes that are near and dear to your heart. So,
of course,
times are really tough out there. The economy is tricky, but if there is anything that you have to give to any cause, not just one that I support, I so highly encourage it. Whether it's just volunteering for things like the MS Walk that we have here in Canada I believe it's in April usually.
Right.
Or they have a readathon as well. There's always like Jump Rope for Heart. There's so many things that you can do. So all I'll say about that is if you're passionate about a cause, go and help or contribute in some way. If you can't do it financially, there are so many other ways that you can do it. And for me, I lost my dad to multiple sclerosis just after my 16th birthday.
Goodness.
So I've always been really passionate about that. Yeah. And I've worked with the MS Society since I was like 12, maybe. And and I will continue to do so on whatever capacity I can, whatever they will, whatever help they'll accept from me. And we're working on something. We're in the very, very, very early stages of something that I hope will come together next year for them as well.
That's great, and it's such a good cause, the MS Society, because in the NHS, I work in the NHS as well as doing radio and things like that. And the MS team there, they do need a lot of, there's not enough research put into it, is there?
Well, there's not enough funding put into the research.
Yes.
I know that right now they've made some really massive advancements and some pretty big breakthroughs that I've been working actually with some of the clinical research with. And there's some pretty incredible stuff on the horizon. They just need some money to be able to fund the proper equipment to be able to further the treatment.
Right, yes, we'll have to, support your local charity. That's the message from Jess there. Any way that you can, if you feel passionate about it. Now, I see that you have been cooking. Are they your buffalo cookies on your Facebook page that I have seen?
What? What are you looking at?
On your Facebook page, there's a picture of some cookies they look like. Are the cookies, are the cakes? And they look like buffaloes. They had like horns on.
Oh, maybe, was that for my mom's birthday? The cupcakes, maybe?
Oh, maybe it was. Yes, cows. Okay. I'm saying that the buffaloes.
Oh, I'm like, buffalo cookies, like cow cupcakes? Maybe. No, I didn't. My brother's girlfriend brought those over for her. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm really testing you today, Jess.
Yeah, you're testing me. This is like a game of Mad Libs or something.
Exactly. and after the week that you've had, but we'll not talk about that on the radio.
No, I do love baking, but there's not enough time in a day during summer festival season to be doing much baking.
Well, they look absolutely wonderful, yes, and I bet they tasted lovely.
Yes, great.
Now, talking about social media, hey, can you believe it? Links straight into this question. How much time do you spend on your fans on social media, with your fans on social media, as you have a massive following and must be doing something right?
Thank you. I appreciate that. I spend a lot of time on it. A lot. More than probably anything else. And I would imagine that most artists would tell you the same. Between replying to comments, coming up with the content, shooting it, getting ready for it, editing it, posting it, scheduling it. It is a lot. It's definitely more than I think most of us had signed up for. I enjoy it. but the constantness of it is definitely a challenge. And I struggle with the fact that it has become more that than anything else. It's really a shame that a musician can't put music first in their job anymore. They have to put the strategy first.
That's right.
Yeah, but I spend a lot of time, there's definitely some positives there. I love that I'm able to share new music before it's even recorded or finished. I love that I have the fans' input on it. And I love that I have that direct correlation to the fans, and there's nobody in between us. There's no moderator. There's no someone that does it for me. It's me. And I really love to see that.
That's right. You can be responsible for your own creativity, as it were, rather than, somebody saying you have to do this and you have to do that. And you know what I mean? It's all on you, as it were, which is good, which means it's true to the fans because it's from yourself.
Yeah, totally.
Excellent. Now, have you got any tips for the beginner on social media there? How can Phil Wilson chat with celebs in these radio shows and such like? How can you get the word out and get maybe 1 million by the end of 2025? Or is that too ambitious?
You're asking the wrong girl, because I haven't got there yet. I think that for me, just starting was the way to do it. Sharing your personality out there, sharing glimpses behind the scenes as much as you're comfortable with, things that fans can't normally see when they go to a show, are all things that seem to perform well for me. But yeah, I think just starting and finding out who you are, who your social media presence is. We all know who we are, but what works on social media? What is your fan base want to see? What works for you? What can you be consistent in? What can you post almost every single day? I would say just get out there and kind of feel it out. There's really no perfect path. You have to kind of make it yourself and just find out what works for you.
Would you say being consistent is the way forward?
I think so. Yeah.
And would you post every day, or do you think maybe not?
If I had the time to post every day, I would. I aim to post every day, but it certainly doesn't always work out that way because, like I said, I am the only person doing it.
Exactly. And it can drain you as well, can't you?
Well, it's more than just posting it. It's responding to all those comments and,
of course,
even just coming up with captions and things like that. They seem like they don't take that much time. And hashtags and editing and creating backgrounds and hashtags aren't even as relevant now as they were. Like keeping up with the algorithm and the changes to each individual.
That's right.
Are really challenging. So yeah, like I said, there's a lot on an artist these days. More than just artists. More people struggle with social media than just artists for sure. But yeah, consistency is key, which is unfortunate because it's the most challenging part.
Indeed, yes. Get yourself following Jess Moskaluke there. She's on all the social media. Just do a search for her, or get yourself over to her website, and there's links there to all of her social media and also her videos and tour information as well. Now, your new EP, Heartbreaker, is your highest streaming album to date, boasting a combined total of over 13 million streams and adding to your impressive 150 million streams worldwide. Do you still get shocked with figures like that?
I think that they're just so out. They kind of just go right over my head. It's hard to picture that many people. And like I said, I'm such a visual person that when I hear numbers like that, I just can't even fathom it. If I saw that many people standing in a room saying, "Hey, I've listened to your music," I would be absolutely blown away. But I can't even begin to picture, is that my living room full of people, or is that a football field full? It's crazy. It's incredible. I don't think that will ever be normal to me.
It's amazing, isn't it? Yeah, because there'll be thousands and thousands and millions streaming in the next 12 months as well. I know that for sure. Now, what are your standout tracks from your EP, and are there any personal stories behind the tracks?
Oh man. Every single one of them. I don't put anything on an album that I don't feel is a standout track. and asking an artist to pick a favorite song is a lot like asking a mother to pick their favorite child. So I won't do it.
Go on.
Every song has a personal story behind it for one reason or another. Yeah, they're all really special to me. I love it so much.
So when you go on stage, you not go, I can't wait to perform this particular one because it really tests me voice, me vocals, and I really get into it.
It depends on the day. Like I know my band loves playing Secondhand You for whatever reason. They really love to play that song. I love getting the crowd involved during Go Getter. Like they're all, again, they're all for very different reasons. They serve a different purpose, which is kind of the point of writing your own music, is you can picture them in a show and where they might go and what you might want to do with them, while hoping that they stream well and that people love them and that they do well on radio as well.
Yeah. Well, all your music definitely does very, very well on radio. And your stunning new single, Secondhand You, is out now. And I know what you mean in the song about a certain scent that can remind you of something or someone, which sparks a feeling inside you. Was it about anyone in particular?
Yes.
Is it a secret?
No, it's not a secret. It's just, I think it doesn't necessarily matter as much because I think it matters what everybody goes to in their own mind. It was about someone for me. It is about a very specific feeling that I recognize, but I think that everybody feels that way about someone in their life and in their past. Yeah.
That's right. It's like it could be like a certain aftershave for you, a certain perfume for me. I can go, oh, that was when I was with so and so. You know what I mean? It's strange, isn't it, how the mind works? And you could be just, for example, you could be anywhere. You could be having a cuppa somewhere, and then all of a sudden you get this thought in your mind. You're going, I've never thought of that person for a long time, and it's because of the smell. Now, Jess, where will you be visiting in 2025, and do you have any future music that is in the pipeline?
Like I mentioned, anything that's been announced is on the website, but we don't really have much that's been announced for 2025 yet. We do have some cool stuff going on, but of course I can't tell you about that until it's announced. But new music, yes, we do have some new music coming in early 2025, so we'll be chatting about that really soon as well.
Excellent. And you've got a Christmas album as well, haven't you, that you released a while back? Will you be releasing that again, and will you be releasing it on vinyl?
We probably won't be releasing it on vinyl. I don't think, well, I know there's not time. Vinyl is a really long, challenging, expensive, well, I shouldn't say challenging.
It is.
But it's a long and expensive process. You have to kind of remix every single song, and then you have to do test presses and make sure that they work. And then, so it's not like making a CD where you already have the design and you're like, print it. It's
exactly
of work. So no, I don't believe that will be on vinyl. Never say never, but not right now. We just don't and haven't had the time to get that done. And we don't have to re-release it because it's already released. So it's out there and you can listen to it any day of the year. You can listen to it right now if you want. So it's called A Small Town Christmas, and it's available wherever you get your music. And
you can also get it at your website as well. Yeah. JessMoskaluke.com. Now, you wouldn't believe this, Jess, that we've run out of time. So it just leaves me to say thank you so much for joining me on the show, and I'd like to wish you all the very best with your tour down under there. I'm sure it'll be a massive success. And finally, would it be possible for you to introduce your latest single, Secondhand You?
Yes, this is my brand new single, Secondhand You.
Jess, thank you so much for joining me on the show. And would you like to join me on the show again, or have I frightened you away for the second time, even though you've come back for more?
Of course. Awesome. Thank you so much for having me.